How long do you pray for departed souls? And how effective is it? Uh, Most of you have attended my seminars or seminars of my teachers, so you would know the process of death, how death occurs, and what the soul feels at that point of time. So I'm not going to go into that in much detail. But the point is that the first 4 days are the days of transition. 72 hours is what the soul takes to cross the dimensions completely. Now, it's not that 72 hours means every hour is counted by the soul. Sometimes the soul just crosses the dimension in 5 minutes or in 7 minutes also. And sometimes it takes the entire 72 hours, depending on the mental state of the soul. Also, a lot of things happen before the dimension is crossed over. So, therefore, certain amount of time is required. Now, during these 72 hours, it can be a, a significantly traumatic time for many souls. A, because they are very attached to everything that they've left behind. B, sometimes they don't even understand that they are dead and they are not in the physical body. C, when that realization takes place, they are so distraught for various reasons, whether it's attachment to their wealth, to their family, or just their physical body, that realization, that adjustment to the fact that they are no longer alive in the physical body. Of course, the soul is alive; they are in the astral body. But the fact that they are not any longer in the physical realm can be a very traumatic state. So that is why in most religions also, and as a rule of thumb, we say that the first 4 days is where you really need to pray for the soul so that it gets some kind of solace, some kind of relief. Because also it has not changed across the dimension, it is still in our physical dimension, in which case it receives the prayers very effectively. Now, after the 72 hours, 95% of the souls do cross over to the other dimension. Sometimes 5% don't, for their own stupidity, I would say, or their own indiscretion. They don't cross over to the dimension they're supposed to go to, and they're left behind, in which case the trauma continues for a very long period of time till they opt to cross over to the astral dimension. So, there again, your prayers will help. But 95% of the souls cross over to the astral dimension. Now, once they are in the astral dimension, assuming that they have had a reasonably okay life, they would be placed in a comfortable uh, situation there. In which case, they do not need your prayers. In fact, they pray for you because they are out of pain and suffering. They are in a better world in that sense. So they will pray for you rather than you pray for them. So after the 4 days, all the prayers that you do are for your satisfaction and your kind of relief, from grief. They don't benefit as such.
So this 1 year shraddha and everything
That is largely for your benefit, but yes, you can do it for a year if you want to. Beyond that, I think it's futile because most of the souls take birth again. So to do it for a time later than that is, I think, quite ridiculous. And certainly, if you're doing it for like years and years, your grandchild would have been born. That old soul that you're praying for is born as your grandchild, and you keep praying for that. So it's quite
and
ridiculous.
they are not benefiting anyway.
They are not going to benefit anyway. Sometimes some souls get stuck in between dimensions or in a very low astral plane. And if they reach out to you for certain prayers, then yes. Then yes. Because certain ceremonies that can be done in the physical realm can help them if they are stuck or if they are in a very low astral plane and they need help. Though invariably they get help in the astral world only, 99% of the time. But if they communicate in some way that I need, like say in a dream or something, They communicate, please do this ceremony for me or do this. Then you can do it. Fine. But again, these are one-off cases, not rule, not to be done all the time or in every case. So basically, 4 days very significant. After that, depends if you want to. If it pleases you, if it gives you more relief, you do it. Otherwise, they don't really benefit. And after 1 year, absolutely nothing. It makes no sense at all, despite what everyone says. And it's more to feed the priests and the, they also need to earn some way. So they got to have something to do. If everyone starts talking like us, then they'll starve. So yeah, if you want to do a good turn to these priests, then you can give them a yearly contract for every year. Pray for my dear departed ones who've already taken birth. So it's like that.
And the cremation of the physical form is done in a particular ritual. That this has to be done. This is the way it has to be buried. This is the way it has to be burned.
Yeah.
Is that truly significant to be done in a specific way and all those?
No. Those were customs of the time. At that time, what was most relevant and I would say appropriate for that time, maybe that region of the world, it was done according to that. But by and large, if you once the life force has gone out, once the soul has gone out, the quicker you dispose of the physical body, the better.
But in those rituals, ऐसा नहीं किया तो मुक्ति नहीं मिलेगा, ये नहीं होगा, all that, from the
मुक्ति ऐसे भी किसको मिलती है? अरे जोकिंग ऐसे ही मुक्ति मिल जाती है तो क्या? These are all. You see, half of these customs were introduced at a certain point of time for a certain purpose, which that purpose may have lost its significance now, but the customs continue. It's more that nobody gets mukti like that, or just because you do this or that. It doesn't make a difference. Once the life force is out, the carcass is 5 elements. Now, how you dispose it of makes no difference whatsoever. Believe me, absolutely no difference. This is all to placate the human mind. Play games with the human mind, nothing else. Once the life force is out, 5 elements, that's all your body is. How you now want to let it go back is very little significance. Very little significance to the soul. Let's put it that way. But yes, I'll tell you, this is something that I had explained earlier, that many of these customs were introduced many thousands of years back. Thousands and thousands of years back. At that time, the evolution of the planet was very low. And what used to happen is these souls were so gross and so attached to material things that they would refuse to go to the astral world because they were so stuck for their food and their homes and their women and their whatever, children or whatever it is. So, this was a way of placating them and saying, okay, now you take your favorite food, try to eat it. Of course, they can't eat it, but to sort of make them believe that they could come and sort of enjoy that, and then realize that, oh no, now you can't, so now please go. So it was the various reasons for which all these things were done at that point of time, but they continue through the ages, regardless of the evolutionary cycle.